I have been talking about the Parsec app a lot over the last 10 months, and I want you to see why. Basically, you can game with anybody, anywhere in the world, on almost any game, at any time you want. NBA 2K13 from Steam.
2 minutes now played in the second quarter. And Vince Carter with the slam.
NBA Live 10 from an emulator.
Offensive rebounds will eventually kill you.
And Kobe Bryant able to put it down.
NBA Jam from an emulator.
Can he do it? Nice pass, and he buggy whips that one in for two.
NBA Live 16 from the Xbox One companion app.
Slams it home for two.
Oh, that's nice right there. The finish at the rim with the nice dunk.
So the purpose of this video is to show you how awesome Parsec is and how it works. Hi everybody, this is D for 3. You know me either from the NLSC or from the basketball gaming community in general. And I really wanted to make this video going over Parsec, why it's so awesome, how to use it, the capabilities of it, and whatnot. It's really changed the way that we play basketball video games and video games in general. And we've been using it quite a bit, actually, over the last year. And I actually discovered this because of NLSC member I Am Sluggy, who goes by Sluggy Sports on other social media platforms. And he created a thread in the NBA 2K20 section stating, has anybody tried this app, Parsec? You can connect and, play NBA 2K20 with anybody and use mods, etc. And I finally got around to trying it, and I was like, oh my god, this program is absolutely amazing. I'm also making a video for the NLSC channel, so it can reach more people, but this one is for my D for 3 YouTube channel. So what does this app do? Well, basically this app, it says it right here on their website. This is where you can also download the product. You can see the download link up in the top right-hand corner of the screen. It says, start playing around. Parsec connects you and your friends to the games you love from anywhere on any screen. All you need is a PC, some internet, and our free app. Like it says, fine-tuned for gaming, and you can actually sync this up with your other devices as well. It says 60 FPS UHD. That lets you play all your games from any device, no lag, no latency. And then, obviously, play together. Want to play with a friend? Share a link, connect a controller, and have fun, no matter how far away you are. And it really is that simple. I would say that after you download the application, probably takes about 5 minutes to set up, and you can start connecting with people or adding them as friends and whatnot. Before I get into showing you the optimal settings for this application and how easy it is to use, I wanted to go over some videos that I've created from my Parsec sessions, from hosting other people's Parsec sessions, etc. Just to show you kind of the capabilities of what this can do. This right here is a video where I connected with @bball video games playing NBA 2K10, and we used the 96-97 roster mod. And this was an excellent experience. It worked great for him. We had an amazing game. He actually pulled off some sweet moves with Calbert Chaney and whatnot, and I had some nice moves with Jordan and everything. But this is the type of thing that Parsec opens up. He doesn't own this game. This game is no longer online. And look at what we are able to do. We're able to have a great head-to-head experience, or we can even play co-op if we wanted to, and we can play with mods. In a similar vein, so at King J Mace is doing an Elite Street Ball League using this application where he starts a season and people connect and they play the games with him using Parsec in that season, and it's a full-blown mod with, modded street teams and whatnot, and NBA legends and current players and whatnot, and modded courts and jerseys and all of that. And he's connecting with people from all around the world, just like I am, in order to play that mod. So that kind of gives you an idea. Now, this game is being played using the Steam version of NBA 2K10. So Steam games, like for example, you would look at my Steam game list and I have 2K9 all the way up to 2K22. I collect all of the games. I can connect with anybody and play any mod, with anybody around the world using this app. So it's unbelievable what you can do. Another good example of that is this session that I had with Sticky Fingers. So we played NBA Live 16 using the Xbox Companion app. And this opens up you to be able to have the ability to play any Xbox One game online with the person of your choosing at any time. And I think that's absolutely wild. All you got to do is you stream your Xbox One through the Xbox Companion app, and it recognizes their controller like they're in the room with you, connected with you in the room. So we had a great game here. This was actually pretty close throughout. He hits a 3 here with Kyle Korver, etc. So again, Xbox One games, boom, you can play those with people. And, that means NBA Live 14, 15, 16, the 2Ks, etc. Live 18, Live 19, and all that jazz. So I also opened up the NLSC YouTube channel because I send Andrew videos. And these, we have multiple tournaments that we've run already using the Parsec app. We are in the middle right now of an NBA Jam on Fire Edition tournament. We were actually in the semifinals, and this game right here is I hosted, and B-Ball Video Games and 707 connected to me, and they played their game, and I recorded the game. It worked awesome for both of them. The games were incredibly competitive, but it opens up the avenue to basically do tournaments with any game. There's a gentleman on our Discord, and he's also in the NLSC community on Twitter, and his name is Tecmo Bull, and he's been playing Madden with the EA devs and whatnot using Parsec. So he's playing the different Madden games, old and new. So that's the type of possibilities this opens up. It's not just for basketball gaming, but it is also for any game, really, that you can play co-op against, etc. Another good example is we actually played the 2003 NBA All-Star game. Andrew lives in Australia, doesn't have great internet, and it's not his fault. It's just the way it is there. And I live an hour outside of Boston, Massachusetts, and we played a really fun, competitive game using the URB roster for NBA 2K13, and this is some of the action. I was the West, he was the East, and it was a great connection. It played great. We talked about it on the NLSC podcast. So one more example I wanted to give because I thought this was excellent, and it just gives you an idea of all the possibilities with this app. We connected 4 players at once and played NBA Jam 2010. This worked amazing. It was all different parts of the world. We had me, again, out an hour outside of Boston. We had Andrew, who lives in Australia, playing, and him and I were playing on the same team. We're using the Celtics here, and we were against Q, who I believe lives in California, and or Moley. I'm not exactly sure where he's from. All different parts of the world, all 4 connected with me hosting, and we had a great, fun, competitive game. And we actually played a couple games of this, and it was incredibly enjoyable. So what does that open up for you? You think about it, it opens up blacktop on various games using mods. It opens up playing, on the same team on games or against, with multiple people connected on games like Street Hoops or And One Basketball and games like that. The ESL mod for King J Mace, if he wanted to have multiple people facing off on the streets on each side and there was a strong host, he could do that, and it would be fun and competitive for all. I think he's actually grown his channel, and his channel's on social media by using Parsec and running these tournaments, running these games and whatnot. And before I get into the optimal settings, I did want to show you the tournaments that we're running using this app. Just the possibilities are endless. We already finished the NBA Live 10 tournament. I ended up winning, but this was actually a very competitive series with Cavs 4-8, 7-2. He was up by 21 actually in the first half of game 1, and I had to really rally to come back and win that one. But we had 8 different users from around the world participate, and we all had a blast. Really good connections, and it was just a really fun tournament. So think about all the things you can do with this. We are in the middle of an NBA Jam on Fire Edition tournament, and I own this game on PlayStation 3, Xbox. I have it on my Xbox One downloaded, and on my Xbox Series X. But I use the emulator for the tournament, and so it works perfectly with Parsec. And I'm either hosting the games, or if they want to, they can host themselves, but usually they just allow me to host, and that's fine. And so 2 people connect with me, I record the games, they have a great connection, and the games are a blast. And they've been very competitive, and we're on to the semifinals here of this tournament. The next tournament we're going to do is a March Madness tournament, using a college basketball game, either NCAA Basketball 10 or maybe like NCAA Basketball 09. So I wanted to get into the Parsec settings real quick. And before I do this, I do want to let you know that I use an Xbox One controller. I've never had a problem with that working. Xbox 360 controllers work. Xbox Series X controllers or S controllers work. PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, generic controllers. The way this app works is it acts like you're in the room with the other person. It's absolutely wild. So I've had people connect and play against me with wired or wireless, with PS4 controllers, PS5 controllers, with Xbox controllers, all of this stuff. And we've never had a problem getting the controllers to work, or for, any issues in that regard. As long as you have the emulators programmed on your end, and maybe your Steam games as well, if there's anything you want to specially do with the control configuration or anything like that. But, as long as you have your emulators programmed appropriately for gamepad number 2, gamepad number 3, if you have multiple people, there's absolutely no issues, and it works awesome. Also, as far as internet connection, I've connected with so many people, and so many people have participated in the tournaments this way, that have Wi-Fi, and the connection is still strong the large majority of the time. Strong enough for them to be able to play and have a great experience. At B-Ball Video Games, who I've connected with numerous times, has an old MacBook using Wi-Fi, and we've played NBA 2K10, NBA 2K11, NBA in the Zone, and all these other games, and he always has a strong connection. So I recommend being wired in if you can, but it's absolutely not necessary to have a great experience using this application. You can host if you have a MacBook now, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can. You can host if you're on Windows 10 as well, and I believe they're bringing hosting to Windows 7 computers too. But that's how great this is. You don't have to have a super strong internet. Andrew can attest to that, for this application to work and to have fun with this application, or even to be competitive in a tournament or in a head-to-head matchup or anything like that. So those are very important notes. Basically, the way this application works is, if you look up in the top right-hand corner, you see my name, D for 3. Once you install the application, it will ask you to create an ID, and then they'll just tag a bunch of numbers at the end to make your ID unique. So that's my ID, and you'll have a computer. So like mine is desktop right here, and then you have your friends, which will show up if they have the Parsec app open, and this is how you would connect with them. So basically what ends up happening is, if you want to connect with King J Mace, if you would talk to him on Discord or whatever, and he's like, yeah, man, let's get a game in, you can hit connect. He'll accept the connection on his end, and when you hit a button on your controller, the application will basically like make a sound. It like makes a beep to let you know that your controller is recognized, and then he can jump into any game on his PC and you can play it with him. Any PC with mods, anything like that. It is absolutely crazy how easy it is. If somebody wants to connect with you, your desktop will show up on their computer, and they just hit connect, and then you just accept their connection, and you hit the ground running and you start gaming. It's pretty easy. Also, settings-wise, this is what I recommend for the settings. So this is the client. So this is if you're connecting with somebody else. So somebody else is hosting. I usually have the overlay on, overlay warnings on. Window mode, I put it in full screen. So it fills up your entire screen like you're in the room with them. Renderer Direct 3D 11. VSync off. You can put it on. I like it off. But that's completely up to you. Decoder AMD. I have an AMD graphics card. My recommendation is to follow these settings as closely as you can, even if you have NVIDIA. But yeah, I have AMD. H.265 off, immersive mode off. For the host, so if you're hosting, these are your settings. Hosting enabled, yes. Resolution, keep host resolution. Bandwidth limit 50 Mbps and FPS 240. Even if your computer or your monitor or whatever only gets up to 60 FPS, put this at 240. Trust me. I've done a ton of testing with this. People can vouch for this also over on Reddit. I've seen some optimal settings threads, and they always have 240 for the FPS. I've tried to bring this down to 60 FPS, and it hurts the performance. So I know it's your gut instinct is to say, well, my computer can't do 240 FPS, but trust me, the way the app works, put it at 240. Exclusive input mode on. That means only one guest can control the mouse at a time. The host will always be able to take control from guests by moving their mouse. Exclusive input mode being on makes it so you're the only one basically controlling the mouse. Echo canceling off. And where it says virtual gamepad type, you'll just keep that on 360. That means nothing, to be completely honest with you, because any controller basically works with this app, whether you're the host or somebody's connecting with you. And quality, you're going to think this is funny because, it says lowest latency. But when I put this on lowest latency and people connect with me, they say that their screen looks great. Like, oh, this game looks great, or, oh, it feels like I'm in the room with you and whatnot. This, in my opinion, is by far the best setting for this app. So there are other options within here. There's like balanced or highest quality. You can mess with it if you want, but my recommendation is to keep it on lowest latency. So those are the settings that I would mess with, and I would probably put it as close to this as possible or exactly like this if you can. Friends, these are all people that I've connected with using Parsec. The list is long. I've had a great experience with basically everybody. The Live King, TG So Good, people that you know from the NLSC, if you're an NLSC member, Sticky Fingers, Stildo33, there's Andrew, etc. Connected with all these people. So this is the way this works, though. If you want to add a friend, you would just go to add friend. You'd type in their name. They would pop up with some random numbers at the end of that name. You just add them, and boom, they show up under your computers. And that's it. So it's that easy to connect with people, and this just opens up a whole world of opportunities for gaming. Old games, new games, games with mods, basketball games, football games, whatever you play. It doesn't matter. Donkey Kong Country, I don't care. So that's why I'm so excited about this app. We're going to be running more tournaments over on the NLSC and whatnot. I'll have the links in the description for the download link to Parsec, and then also that thread that has all of those screenshots and whatnot for the optimal settings. But definitely reach out with any questions, either on Twitter or the NLSC, or commenting on the video, etc. And like I said, download this app if you don't have it and give it a try. You'll be blown away. So thank you for listening. Bye.